And we're going. Yeah. So here we are. We did it. We did it again. Yet another Wednesday. Another Wednesday, and here we are. Let's just
All right,
make
here we
sure
are.
everything works and streams over.
Another
Uh,
another Wednesday, and here we are.
yep.
Yeah,
There we
We're
go.
live now.
there you
Cool.
are. Cool.
So I think, yeah, that everything checks out there. Airplane mode on all my phones. We are ready to roll now. But yeah, hey everybody, how we doing? Here we are, another Wednesday, kind of getting ready to go. We're over here checking chat and getting everything together. But if you're new here, that would be awesome. We're glad to have you. But every Wednesday, Adam and I like to try to get together with some breeders from around the industry, the ball python industry and reptile industry in general, and just kind of have a discussion. Gives you guys an opportunity to talk and lets us pick their minds. So we alternate channels every week. So the links for both of our candidates here today are in the description, but Adam's channel is in the description as well. So you could jump over there and sub to that so that you won't miss live stream. And without further ado, I'm Joel from State 48 Exotics, and I have my co-host Adam here. Let him take it away.
Hey everybody. Adam, Beach Bum Exotics. Like Joel was saying, welcome any of the first timers, and thanks for everybody else who's been returning to our live streams every Wednesday for the past couple weeks or whatnot. And really appreciate everybody, and really appreciate all the shout outs earlier, and kind of everybody putting us out on Instagram and stuff. We really do appreciate that big time. So.
But yeah, all right. Well, I guess without further ado, we'll introduce our next victim here. So we got Mike of Porter's Pythons, and Mike, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Mike here, Porter's Pythons, and yeah, just enjoying the weather in Southern California. Lot cooler, lot warmer here than it is anywhere else, I guess. But
yeah,
cold
yeah,
for a bunch of people here. So
right. Yeah, well, cold for Arizona too. We're it's like 50 degrees outside, and we're pretty bundled up. So
oh yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
yeah, absolutely. So I guess like while we're getting kind of warmed up here and stuff like that, do you want to maybe answer that age-old question of how you got started, into reptiles?
Yeah, as far as in reptiles, I mean, I just always been an animal buff ever since I was a kid, and luckily, I had my dad was very supportive of that, and whenever I bring something home, and I was kind of allowed to keep it, which was very, quite varied. So,
Right.
I always had, dogs, cats. I've had snakes and lizards and iguanas and all this stuff growing up, and then back in 2008, went to a reptile show and saw the first ball python. Actually, girlfriend at the time we were walking through, and she kind of stopped in our tracks, and it was that was it. It was like the start of the ball python craze, so.
Right. Yeah. And there it was, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And now here you are on a Wednesday night talking about snakes.
Yeah. I pretty much every night
exactly
talking about snakes though. So to be fair,
Yeah, that's true.
And how long ago was that, Mike?
That I got into the ball pythons, 2008. I think it was the NARBC show in Anaheim in 2008. I just kind of tagged along with a buddy at a show and just got it. I had like rosy boas, and I had some corn snakes at the time too. And but this is the first venture into the ball pythons, which is where it really started as far as getting into something real serious. So.
Right.
Did you buy just one that day, or how many did you buy?
No, just one, and I was freaking out that I paid $350 for a pastel yellow belly male. I was like, this is I couldn't believe I would spend that much money on a snake. And it was awesome. It was a beautiful snake, and Mark Bailey produced it. And at the time, I didn't know who he was or anything, and now it's like, oh man, I got this from a really good source, and just a kind of a legend. So
yeah,
kind of a cool thing. So good way to start, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that guy has incredible animals, man. Incredible animals.
Yeah, I'd love to see him at a show. I hadn't seen him at a show since then.
Right.
And I'd love to see him here locally. I'd love to get out to Tinley one of these days and, and see him or see that whole thing. But, yeah, I'd love to see him out here again. It'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
He does have good stuff.
Have you never been to Tinley then?
No, it always seems to coincide with other things I'm doing. We got that charity fundraiser we do. I'm sure we'll talk about that later. Mm-hmm. That's always in October, like a week later. And then this year I vended Repticon the same exact weekend. So
right.
That one's like, that show's like in my backyard. So it's hard to skip that or Pomona for me, as far as, especially I only vend like 2 or 3 shows a year.
Okay.
So those are kind of hard ones to pass up, just because that one's 15 minutes from my house.
Yeah. That's super close. Close.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, that's where I met you. I think the first time was
you guys were vending. You guys were vending, and we just kind of were right around the corner, and that's where we first kicked off the relationship.
yeah, exactly. And before that, I was always the guy, on the other side of the table, walking by, looking at snakes, saying, "Hey," and I always remember, dude, pieds. You had the most amazing pieds at the show, always, hands down.
I appreciate it, man. Maybe it's because all the bigwigs go to Tinley, and I'm just like here local with all the pieds or something. But no, I appreciate that, and it's just that's obviously the bulk of my collection, where my passion is in those. And I don't have realistically, I don't have like a bunch of super crazy pied combos yet. I have a lot of pieds, but I have really nice ones, and they create nice ones, but for the most part, they're pretty simple combos.
Right.
But they're just, I think, just done right,
Yeah. Well, yeah. And that goes to a common thread we always talk about is that, the quality of the animal is more important than the deal, and that goes to prove it with what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, for me, part of it is not wanting to lose everything in it, and not wanting to have a hard time identifying stuff. Identifying is hard enough sometimes, and if you start to add, for me, as if he doesn't do this as a full-time gig, it's sometimes you add 3, 4, 5, 6 genes into an animal. It's like,
gosh, yeah, especially into a pied.
Yeah.
So. Well, what is your day job, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I'm a firefighter. I'm actually an engineer. I work for Morongo Fire Department. Yeah, I've been there for 5 years. I've been a firefighter since 2002.
Right. Okay.
Paramedic since 2003. So yeah, it's been a long.
Don't worry, ladies. He'll be on the next LA firefighter calendar.
Yeah.
Not after the baby.
And I know you do some, extracurricular activities besides reptiles, outside of firefighting. What are, you mind telling us a little about that too?
Yeah.
No, you do like the Ironman stuff.
Yeah, actually, I did that. I did a full distance Ironman in Joel's neck of the woods, in Tempe, 2017. So I do triathlons, and one of the big things that I do with triathlon is I raise a lot for Challenge Athletes Foundation, and we've had some auctions and some raffles you guys have been part of, and raised a lot of money and awareness for Challenge Athletes Foundation, most notably for Team Zach, which is my friend's son, my little buddy, Zach. He's awesome. And
heck yeah.
And so it's been really cool to take this aspect of what I love and reading the ball pythons and just kind of just doing that. It's just always been a hobby. It's a little bit of becoming a little bit of a side business, but to couple that love with my other passion of doing the triathlons, and most importantly, helping out with that charity is phenomenal, and the support we get, and have gotten from all the people here and our, people who follow us on Instagram or follow us on here. It's been tremendous. And it kind of gives you the goosebumps every time we just keep setting the bar higher each year. So we got to raise like over 15
and the first time you
year.
showed wow, man. Yeah, the first time you showed me a video of Zach and just the day he had and the joy he was getting from running around out there.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Like,
he's
totally.
And for those of you who don't know Zach or haven't seen Zach, Zach was born with a medical condition that caused him to have some deformities to his arms, and it's called TAR syndrome. And so he's got these deformed little arms, but at the same time, he had some deformities to his legs, and it required his parents. They basically opted to have them amputated like 15 months old, thinking he'll just learn to walk with prosthetics. And that's where they got involved with Challenge Athletes Foundation, because that foundation provides grants for athletes of all ages, kids to super, 80, 90-year-old. I think I saw like an 86-year-old lady get a grant for a wheelchair at their last year's grant night. And it was just awesome to see, and Zach's out there, and he got his first pair of running prosthetics last summer. And it was just, this kid he's just a bundle of energy and just happy all the time. And, it's just awesome to be even just have a little bit of that, involvement in that. It's great.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Zach's awesome, man. He's awesome.
Yeah.
One of these days, I'm going to get his mom to bring him. Mom doesn't really care for snakes. So I'm going to get, I think Uncle Mike's just going to pick him up and take him to Pomona, hang out.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
He'd be like a little celebrity there. He'd dig it. Everyone
would
back. So
that would be so cool. For sure. And so, Joel, after this posts, after we end it, we should put the Team Zach Foundation in the description as well.
Yeah, so I didn't know what that was. I was going to add that. Yeah.
We'll do that. Hey, I gotta point out something real quick. Those are some really nice shirts you guys got on.
Oh yeah. What is that?
I think
yeah. Look at this, guys.
Bill has one, but he never wears it. So.
Well, what can you do, okay?
And we were not paid to wear these for the live stream, but
we were threatened. So. We were threatened, though.
we might have been threatened.
Hey, you're not supposed to say that.
Totally joking. Mike's like the nicest guy out there.
I know. Yeah, I remember the first time I met Mike. I was like, he spotted me or something like that walking through Pomona, and he was just like, "Dude, what are you doing? How's it going? How are we doing?" I was like, "Gosh, dude, that's a great guy right there."
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
So, Adam, you got something?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I hear you maybe brought some snakes with you. I know one of the Pomona favorites that everybody stops by your booth for. I don't know, were you able to bring Elvira, or was she busy?
Oh yeah, no, she had the week off, so yeah, I brought her. We brought her and a couple others. She's like she's an awesome snake, man. She is literally like, she's a great, I think you're a great ambassador just for us all, because people hear, hey, you work for the fire department. They automatically assume you work for every fire department, every firefighter out there. And so for me, like, she is a great ambassador for anybody who is interested in snakes, or afraid of snakes, really, more importantly.
Right.
Because, you say snake and people automatically, I was talking to a lady today and I'm like, oh yeah, I breed ball pythons. She's like, pythons, that's a 20-foot snake. I'm like, no, so this girl is just awesome. And she's all of like 3,600 grams right now or something like that. A little close, but
she's a big girl.
She's a big girl, and she's just as gentle as can be. We've got kids that'll hold her that are, I have a 4-year-old holder and her 86-year-old grandmother.
No way. Okay.
1 year, and they all dig it. When you show them like the face.
Yeah, that face is cool, man.
I mean, she's just, kind of just the icon. She's like the, my fiance is the queen of the castle here, but this one's definitely the queen of the collection, I'd say.
There you go.
She is awesome.
Yeah. Look at that head, man. That's beautiful.
Yeah, she's as gentle as can be. And like I said, one of the big things for me, like the reason that I really love, or things I love about vending shows, is I love seeing that person who's, exactly halfway in between my booth and the booth across from me, as far away from the snakes as they can possibly get, but they got dragged there by their friends or something.
Right.
And then I'll pull this girl out and I'm like, come here, we'll just chat. And I absolutely hate when people go and just throw a snake on somebody to scare them or I do not play that kind of game. And it's just like, hey, here, I'll hold the head way over here, and just touch the tail or something. And I work with them a little bit. And then eventually it's like, okay, now turn your hand over. And I set the tail in there and, hey, now you're technically holding a snake. And, by the end of it, man, they'll hold the snake and they just love it, because she's just as like I said, as gentle as can be.
Right.
Okay. She's just, she's a
well, she's gorgeous too. That helps.
Yeah.
That's big.
She's a bit, she's a big ball python. I mean, I've seen bigger. There was a dude who posted like an 8,000 gram ball python the other day, but
I just saw that the other day.
Giant pieds,
Yeah, that's a big pied.
And she's good size, man.
And I love the pattern to white ratio on her.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I like the lower to medium white. 50% or so. That's ideal for me.
Yeah, I agree. That's where I'm at with pieds too.
Especially because some of the combos that we're working with, like Orange Dream, for example, I want to see that color. I want to see that pattern, and I don't want to just see, an all white snake. I mean, if I want all white snakes, I'd go make all white snakes. But this is the one that I'll tell you. I mean, a little starstruck or a little bit kind of blown away when Ozzy came by the show in Pomona.
Yeah,
complimented me on this girl. I mean, this is just an Orange Dream pied, and to have him say, well, what else is in there? I mean, of all things, to have Ozzy kind of compliment us.
Yeah, Ozzy say what else is in there.
Orange Dream pied being one, it's like, dude, inspired me to do these ones. Like when I think of Orange Dream, I just think I think straight Ozzy, and to have him come by and say that thing's spectacular, that meant a lot.
Doesn't get better than that.
So
no, it doesn't get better.
As I don't have to tell you, this one's never going to go anywhere.
Yeah, right. So they got the Ozzy approval.
Yeah, right. This is Felicity. So she's just she's cool. She's got these cool little, I don't know, I've just called them sunburst little patterns.
Yeah, look at that. I
don't know what else to call them, but it's just neat,
Yeah, dude, that neck pattern coming over like where her, I guess, like ear would be, like her eye stripes. That's really cool looking too.
Oh, back here. Yeah.
There's
just a bunch of uniqueness, like this little weird, little almost normalish looking saddle. Kind of weird. But, that's why I want 40 to 50% white, because I want to see all this. I want to appreciate all this.
Right.
She's gonna poop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not on camera.
So,
no.
Right.
And then,
so, working with pieds, what are some morphs that don't create or that would create like an all white pied that you know what I mean? Since you like pattern, where are some of the things you stay away from? I think that might be kind of valuable for people to know.
Yeah. So I typically don't bring spider into it, and not for anything negative with spider. I like spider gene. It's a cool animal and makes some really cool patterns. To me, I don't like the fact that it just creates just the head being colored, and to me, I want to see pattern. And so if I get those anything like a spider or whatever that has all head and all white, to me, that's not, they're popular. They're very popular and sell well, but they're not, for me, that's not what I like, Lesser and some of the Bell Complex stuff is I think Butter and Lester create like an all white one as well.
Yeah.
So those are the ones I just Not that they're bad. I mean, everyone has their own, their own flavor of the one that they like, but those aren't combos that I'll tend to work with.
Right. Yeah, your goal is, achieving more pattern. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So like Orange Dream with Enchi typically has a high pattern to it,
Right.
And so I've got an Enchi pied male this year going to an Orange Dream het pied female. That'll be nice because all that color from that and pattern from that Enchi will just be bright orange,
Oh, well, and then the Inchi itself enhancing the coloration too is going to be awesome.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, I don't know if you guys saw that Inchi pied that Adam Serrano had that I should have never sold to him.
Yes,
that thing was super cool. It's just got these little floating little saddles on there, totally dispersed. I mean, really a very high white for an Inchi pied, and it was just gorgeous. And every time he posted,
and that one had that really cool head scan.
Just jabs me about it, It's like
right. Why wouldn't he?
Our time. I think he posts more often just to jab at me.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Because he's not a very nice guy.
We should have dragged Adam into chat tonight.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I don't think he's going to be on here. That's why I can talk it. So this one was a cool one that we hatched up, and this is my one holdback of the highways, and I just like this girl because she was super dark.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Really kind of a busy, just a darker animal. By way of comparison to her siblings, she was really dark.
Yeah.
And she het pied, or?
Yeah, so she's a highway 100% het pied.
And so just to not teach everybody what they already know, but how do you get a highway?
Buy it. I'm just kidding. No, a highway is a gravel and a yellow belly combo.
Right.
So for me, the two biggest parts of my collection center around pied and yellow belly. And so now kind of working the two of them together to create like this. And obviously, hopefully the goal is to make either actual highway pieds. I just happened to, I hit a bunch of hets, which was great because it proved out my male. I bought a male from Justin Kabelka, who probably everybody knows.
Never heard of him.
Especially, they should probably just watch your last couple of videos.
Was that who we interviewed?
Yeah. Yeah, the opening act, right? You're calling him opening act?
Opening act.
Right.
Yeah, opening act for Porter's Python. It was nice of that guy to do that.
So nice. But I bought a male, and it was kind of a little bit of a gamble.
Right.
I'd say kind of an educated gamble with talking to Justin. That the animal was sold as a gravel / yellow belly pied. So the two are very hard to distinguish, especially in combos. And so until you breed them out, it makes it pretty difficult to say 100% what they are. And so I bred that boy to an ivory female, which gave me the absolute best odds to prove him out. So I got 1.4. I got a male and four female highways that were all 100% het pied, and then some yellow bellies. And then I bred him to a pastel yellow belly 100% het pied, and made this one and another dark one too that somebody bought at the show. And so I just kept this one because it's the most unique looking one of the 7.
Right.
But, just gorgeous, and so I kind of want to keep those ones that are a little more unique looking, they might not be, I don't think it's a classic highway look compared to even the other highway I have at home.
It's kind of dark.
Yeah. Darker and weird patterns. So I don't know. I kind of liked it. So,
right.
It's one thing that I've kind of noticed with, What was that? Oh, I was saying with the highways, that's one thing I've noticed is there is variation with, quite immense variation. Some are lighter, some tend to be a little darker, and That one came out really cool.
Yeah, it was funny because, and not to sound goofy about it, but when I first saw it in the egg, it looked so different from the other ones that hatched. I was like, "This has to super gravel," and I, knowing 100% that I didn't, because I produced the female that it was bred to, you know. So it wasn't like there was like any weird question, but it was just like, unique looking, and I like unique, so I stayed with it. So
unique is great.
That's now Amber.
There you go.
They all get names, man. They all get names.
I like that. Yeah, I'm the same way.
That's what I was going to say. That was, do you do that too, Joel?
Yeah.
I kind of stopped naming them after a little while. I'll be honest.
Quitter.
Yeah, I'm still after it. Like 30, so.
You're a quitter, dude. Don't do it. It's funny because I think I have, I don't know, 100 snakes or so in the collection, and I could literally draw you a map right now of my rack and tell you who's who and what's what. You know, it's just You know, it's not for me. There's never going to be a barcode. There's never going to be an item number. It's just a matter of, hey, this is a baby from Brad and Elvira. You know, and and I'll tell you what the genetics are, but it's just a matter of, like, I don't know. It's just, for me, it's more personal, and I like I said, I think maybe it's just the hobbyist at heart, you know, that I want to, I love the animals, you know, and I always want to do what's best for them.
Yeah. So you
come up with like 5 different. Oh, sorry, Joel. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say you would consider yourself a hobbyist then.
I do. My fiance is an entrepreneur business coach, and so she doesn't like the fact that I call myself a hobbyist.
Right.
She's like, you're a businessman that cares about his animals. I'm like, oh, okay, I can go with that. Small business, you know.
Right.
But hey, you know, somebody said it's harder for you to pick names, dude. Just put it up on Instagram and have people vote for it, and then pick the winner.
Yeah,
that's what I do. Or now I have the kids pick names for me.
Yeah. Dude, I can pick names. I'm good at making up random names, man. Yeah. I can help you out, Adam, for sure.
Well, that's the problem. See, I normally turn to Heather and I say, Heather, what should we name this one? And then she goes, oh man, I don't know. And she'll throw out so many good ones. Then it just puts us into, you know, decision paralysis.
Yeah.
No. What she's doing is she's telling you, hey, go buy more snakes from Mike, and then, you know, and you got names.
And then I can use all the names. Yeah.
You can use them all. If they're all good names, then just put them with good snakes.
Yeah, you have 5 more good names. That's 5 more snakes, man.
Yeah, man. All right, come on.
I like how you guys think. This is Heather, are you listening, Mrs. Beachbum?
Yeah.
Hey, you guys want to see the whole back of the year?
Yeah, let's see it.
This is the world's greatest holdback of all time.
Yeah.
Oh, cutie.
Hi. Say hi. Yeah, is there?
Look at her.
Yep.
Look at her.
I had a blowout in my Porter's Pythons onesie, and so we are repping the Swan.
Yeah.
All right, ratings just went up, guys. Thanks.
Of course they did.
Oh man.
That
is
so awesome. Congratulations again on your daughter.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, dude. Thanks. I'm like beyond stoked, dude. I can't even put in the words on that one. So we'll skip over that one.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, so, you know, kind of come back to, you were saying, so you got started with ball pythons 2008. Mm-hmm. You got one snake. How long was it before you started changing gears where you knew, like, hey, I want to try breeding these things, and you know, I'm going to buy a rack.
Yeah. So 2008, I got the first one. We got Batman, you know, and it's it's one of 2 snakes that I have that doesn't have a people name. But 2008 is when I got him. About 6 months later, I got Ziva, which was my first female, with just a pinstripe. And I had zero interest in breeding. It was still just like, oh, this is a cool snake, you know, whatever. And still wasn't too crazy. And then I started being the way I am, and I'd look stuff up online and start trying to research things and make how to make things right and better, and kind of I was thinking about building a big enclosure, a big wooden enclosure and stuff. And so I was kind of doing all this research for, oh man, probably the better part of, well, I guess at this point, you know, still early on, but I saw, to me, what was one of the coolest snakes I'd ever seen. And I wanted to make one. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I bred these things, I could make this. It was so cool. And it was a lemon blast, you know, of all things. It's like the pastel pinstripe, you know. It's like, oh, this is the coolest snake I've ever seen. And and then so I started making arrangements. Like, hey, I talked to some friends and say, hey, buy trade for or something. I'll get like food store credit or something like that.
Hey,
so I kind
rewind 5 seconds.
Mike, we lost you for a couple seconds.
Oh.
Rewind 5 seconds. We lost you for a second. Yeah.
All right. So I saw a lemon blast on online one time, and is that like kind of from there? Start from there. I guess we had a little bit of a glitch, guys.
Yep.
But you know, I just doing my research and started seeing these things that I thought, wow, this would be kind of cool just for the experience to produce them, and made some contacts with some shop owners, and, you know, making sure that if I did create them, like I would have a place to get, you know, be able to move them to, you know, I'm not going to keep them all, and made some arrangements with some reptile shop owners and, you know, store credit type trade kind of stuff. And it was probably 2 years after I had that initial, this would be cool, to actually doing it. I started breeding in 2011. And, you know, in that whole time, man, I was talking to anyone and everyone who would listen to me and talk with me and share secrets, or there's a whole lot of secrets. It's a boy snake and a girl snake. And, you know, realistically, but, you know, anyone who would give me advice, you know, at the time we had some local breeders here, Heather Wong and Tim Thompson were great, you know, Tim Johnson, sorry.
Heather's Herbs.
Tim Thompson's my other buddy. Heather's Herbs, you know her. And then, you know, Josh Marquis and Jeff Lumen, those guys I'd see at shows, and I'd sit there and just chew ears of Jeff off all day. And the guy was great. Always helped me out, gave me advice, and I bought some really great snakes from him. So just kind of those things that, you know, I just started doing that. And I would talk about every little aspect of it. Like, hey, you know, how do you set up your enclosures? How do you, you know, I was doing aquariums at the time, and then it turned into, oh, what about a rack system? And, you know, do I do that? And at the time I was like, oh, no, they need more room. And then I got more research, and I found out that, oh, this is kind of what they prefer, you know. And now I got a big female like Elvira in a 41 quart tub, and I'll put a little hide in there that's, you know, the bottom of a 2.5 gallon bucket, and she'll cram her whole butt in there. It's like, you got all this room, and you want to stay in there? Oh, okay. Yeah. And so for me, I was sold on it, you know, like they eat, they poop, they pee, they breed, you know, they do everything in those. And so I was like, well, if any one of those things is not right for the animal and they're stressed, they're not going to do it. So started, all these things kind of started making sense. In 2011 is when I first kind of said, okay, boy going with girl, we start, you know, breeding. And it's just been progressing ever since then. You know, I had 4 clutches. I bred 5 females. We had 4 clutches the first season. And you want to talk about getting hooked. I had a pastel yellow belly male to a normal female. I got 12 eggs in my first clutch. Right. And not a single normal. Wow. I had a pair of yellow bellies, 2.3 pastels. And the best thing I could produce in that clutch was a pastel yellow belly female, and I made 5. No way. I was like 100% hooked, you know? Yeah. And it was just fun to see it, you know, and progress. I think step by step in a good manner. Like I think I had some good people that kind of advised me up the road to kind of focus my group, because I was like, my eyes were starting to go like this, you know, and
Right.
like, oh, this one's cool. Oh, this one's cool, you know. And I had I had some people at one of the shows. I was just chatting with one of the breeders, and they're like, "Hey, focus on like a handful of, of genetics, you know."
Right.
And that really was like, oh, hey, this is a really good idea. Now, obviously, I have more than a handful of genetics in my collection, but
Right.
if you look at the bulk of my collection, it is centered around pied and yellow belly, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Right.
so that's, I mean, it's changed a little bit. At the time, I couldn't afford pieds, you know, and so, but once I got pieds, then it's like, oh, full bore. This is what I'm going to do. And then I, you know, started making my own hets. You know, I was kind of always trying to look forward. That's kind of what I always tell people is like, hey, just plan ahead, you know.
Right, planning ahead. And like, I thought that was really cool how you gathered information from it, you know, multiple sources, and then kind of thought about it yourself, implemented what you thought would work well, and then adjusted, you know. And I think that's an important takeaway from that, because sometimes it gets discouraging, especially maybe if you start out like unfocused or kind of all over the place. Then you start looking out there and it's like, oh man, what did I do? You know, it's like, it's recoverable, you know.
It is.
Yeah.
But like you'll see, and I know you guys have seen it. I'll talk from the behind the table scene now, you know, as a vendor, you know, talk to people, hey, what do you got going on in your collection now? And they're like, mail. And it's like all these things that they got for really expensive. And I was like, ooh, man, I saw myself going that route, you know?
Right.
And it was like, but because at the time, like I said, I wasn't planning on breeding. I had zero intention of breeding. And until, you know, go a little further along and I saw this lemon blast, you know? And it was just cool to have people who weren't afraid to talk to me, who weren't afraid to tell me that, hey, you know what, this is totally doable. You know, I think there's some breeders that I've talked to people who've talked to other breeders, and they're like, oh man, they make it sound so hard, so difficult, and like impossible. I'm like, no, it's pretty easy, you know.
Yeah, it's not.
And it sucks because I think a lot of people get pushed away from this because, you know, they'll have one or two bad encounters with breeders who just maybe they're feeling threatened or challenged or whatever, and that's not what it's about, you know. I love it, and I'll talk people's ear off. I don't care if they're buying a, you know, $2,000 orange dream pied or they're buying a, you know, a $40 pastel. I'll sit there and talk to them like this, you know, they're buying the greatest thing ever, you know.
Right.
And because it is, you know, and these animals are awesome. And
they are, man. They are. I love the ball python. Like I know, like, you know, the ball python sometimes, like in the reptile community, like once you get into it, kind of takes a little flack for being boring or whatever like that. But dude, I just really like the snake. I don't care if it was popular, man. I like the snake.
Yeah, there's a lot of different views on things. I mean, but there's so many animals, and even if this animal just starts you off to go somewhere else, this is a stepping stone, or this is somewhere you're coming from somewhere else, who cares? I mean,
right?
It's all, I love it, you know, and I'm venturing into a new species, but I'm not going to say anything because Miguel will buy it. But I'll show it when I get them. But some of you guys already know what they are. So, you know, it's just fun and exciting to do something kind of new too. You know,
right.
But these are where my heart is. You know, this is where my passion is, and they've done really well for me. And you know, I just enjoy it, man. It's just, they're great.
Yeah.
And anybody hating on anything or anyone, it's like, why? You know,
why?
It's a waste of energy.
Totally.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, man. I'd rather spend my time building other people up, or, you know, just like, I think that's much more fun, and, you know, so
rewarding.
Well, it's cool too, because I'm not in it to compete with anybody. I'm here to produce some nice animals, and if people have an appreciation for them, like, you know, and they buy them, great. You know, if not, I mean, I still love them, you know, and I may have to cut down on how many I breed if they don't keep buying them, but, you know, it's really nice when they do. And more importantly, the bigger thing is like when people come back and buy more.
Right.
That's always really nice, you know?
Yeah, that's gotta be rewarding.
Yeah, man. Did you see Miguel in there?
And I just glanced over and saw I Love You Porter. So I don't know how far back that was, but yeah, kind of funny. He's a good dude, man.
He is.
Yeah, that's a good guy.
I mean, I'm seeing a lot of names pop up. I'm not really paying attention because there's that lag, but
yeah, well, we'll catch everybody.
Really cool
everybody at the end. The last like 15 minutes, we open it up.
Yeah, and what's cool is like everyone on here, like I recognize most of them obviously from Instagram. Sometimes you have different names and it's like, which one's who's who, you know? Right. But what I liked about your guys' interviews is this chat is usually pretty sweet, pretty cool.
Yeah, you know, like, yeah, chat's fun, man.
We do have a good community that joins.
Any real jerks in here, you know? So, but
yeah, not that I've seen. Well, everybody's afraid of Mrs. Beach Bum.
Yeah,
so.
She's our head moderator.
Yeah.
Clapping them bands. Bow.
Yeah. No, man. It's this community is awesome, dude. It's just blows me away how much support you get through here, you know. It's awesome.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, you know, the community, like you were saying, I've had, you know, relatively a great experience all the way through, meeting new people. You know, it's amazing to me, no matter geographically where you're located, if you have an interest in snakes, like you just talk to that person. And, you know, like I was talking to, well, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name anyhow. And I didn't realize he was over in Germany the entire time. And he didn't realize I was in the United States, right? Like until... Like, you know, dude, it was just the common interest.
Yeah, I've had those. I've had those conversations with people, just long conversations. I got one guy that I chatted with like regularly, about the pastel caramel albino desert ghost because he's got one too, and we're talking and I'm like, man, I don't see very many of these animals around, and turned out this dude's in Spain, and I'm like, oh man. What time is it over there?
Right.
You know, it's like, oh, I'm talking to him at like middle of the afternoon, and it's got to be 3 a.m. or whatever. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, yeah, sorry, but I mean, it's cool because you could just talk about this stuff, but all day, every day. You know, awesome.
Hey, so
hey, through. Oh, go ahead, Joel.
Okay, well, I was just gonna ask. I was gonna switch gears, so if you wanted to keep going.
Whatever you guys
want. No. I was going to switch gears too. So wherever you want to go for it.
I was just going to ask you, Mike, you know, you've talked about vending shows. Mm-hmm. Do you do Morph Market or anything like that as well to like sell your animals?
So I have posted before on Fauna Classifieds. If any of you guys remember Fauna Classifieds.
Right.
Before when I started,
Fauna
was a big thing. And then Fauna, and then Morph Market. I actually did start a Morph Market page, and I have posted this many so far.
Okay.
With that new holdback, man, it's hard to do some stuff. So my website is a little lacking on the updating, and then the Morph Market too. But primarily, it's Instagram has been a huge thing for me. Which it was funny because I was anti-social media for so long because of the fire service. They tell you in the beginning, hey, don't do social media, and when we're doing our background checks and stuff. So it's like I was anti for so many years, but now I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. This is all for the business. It's all positive. So
right.
And I just Instagram just in the last couple of years, man, and it's all been purely organic and just people just kind of liking and growing, and it's just been phenomenal. It's really helped the business and the exposure for sure.
Right. Well, that's what I was kind of leading the question to is what do you think, like on the market side of things, where do you think you sell more animals? Is that the show, or I guess now through like your social media?
It's probably pretty equal on both of those. I would say, you know, I do a good chunk at the show, but then there's always follow up from the show.
Okay.
And those repeat customers, that's a lot of them come that first time from the show, and then it's, or maybe a meeting on Instagram or something. If somebody hits me up where they like 4 or 5 or 6, things that I posted, I message them and say, hey, thank you for the love, and I just like to show appreciation. Every one of those likes is awesome. Somebody's taking time to like what I post. That's cool.
Right.
And so for me, like, it doesn't do any, it's why not, and I reach out, and a lot of times that even leads to sales, which is not the intention, but it's obviously welcomed and really been really good. So
yeah, almost like being friendly works for you.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always go, who's this weirdo?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Mike again.
Yeah.
He's deep. I must have liked too many of his photos. Dang.
Yeah. All right.
No, I'm joking.
Follow Adam here after this is done. I'll just follow Mrs. Beach Bum. That's it.
Right. That's fair, man. That's fair.
Yeah. I'll keep following Steve.
No, totally joking.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh man.
Crazy guy.
So Mike, what type of betting do you keep your ball pythons on? We'll ask a basic question kind of like that.
Yeah. For the adults, they're all on sandy chips. It's something that's, for me, it's readily available. It works well. I'm 10 minutes from the beach, so my humidity is not usually an issue, especially now in that new ARS rack. That thing's awesome. So I use the sandy chips. Works well for me. Might not work well for everybody else. But
what are sandy chips?
So sandy chips is made by Harlan, and it's like small little pieces of aspen. It's like shredded aspen, only smaller.
Okay.
And it kind of clumps when they pee and poop in there, and it makes it really easy for spot cleaning. And then I just switched over to
a new. Smell pretty good too.
Yeah, but I mean, I keep up. I'm kind of OCD, so I generally keep up on my the spot cleaning and the cleaning as much as I can. It might go a little bit overboard when I get started on a strike team for a fire, so I'm gone a couple of weeks. But that's where it pays to have help, and good buddies like
have friends.
Like my buddy Jonathan, Taboo Exotics, man. He lifesaver, and that dude has helped me so much with the last couple seasons. Coming to my house, I call him up 2 a.m. Hey man, I'm getting sent to a fire up north. I don't know if you guys know, it's like California burns, and all the time. And so I'll get sent out for a couple of weeks, and I'll call him up 2 a.m. He's like, I got you, and he'll come do whatever it takes, man. Feed snakes, pull eggs. That guy's hatched some of the coolest babies of mine in the last couple of years that I, he's seen them before me. Like those highways and some of the orange green pieds, he's seen them before I did. It's like,
right.
But I honestly, I couldn't do it without him, unless I just did maternal incubation, which is an option. I know that's an option now. So I did it once.
Right there. That's crazy. That's pretty cool though.
Yeah. I still haven't done maternal incubation. I was thinking about maybe doing it this season, but I chickened out and ended up pulling the egg. So
I did it 1 year. With an albino clutch, and I got 4 of the 5 eggs hatched out absolutely perfect. In fact, one of those was the best looking albino I've ever produced in my life. And I don't think that had anything to do with, it being maternal incubation, but it just happened to be, they were fantastic. I was a little more stressed about it because I was like, it was new, foreign, but so one other substrate, I just started these new liners for the babies. So all of the hatchlings. There's Ed from CMC Reptiles on Instagram, and that guy has got these they're like a really thick, like almost like construction paper, but there's no dye, there's no glue or weird adhesives and stuff, no inks or anything like that. They hold up really well, and so I've been using those. In fact, I got like a custom porter's cut because I kind of had him customize a cut that he had done.
Yeah,
and, those things work fantastic. Joel, did you get them?
I have a lot of my hatchlings on them right now.
And did you get that other cut, or what kind did you get?
I was having him cut me some for my Serpentine Obsession, my retake cages.
Okay.
They have like a really weird spacer in the middle.
Oh, okay.
So he has to like cut 2 sheets to like make it fit.
Oh yeah. I'm only, so far I'm only using them for the hatchlings. They've been working fantastic. I got them cut so they were wider than the original ones, so they come up on the sides, and it's like like the poopy protector on the all four sides, you know.
Right. Yeah, and it's easier to get it up.
Yeah, seems to work really well. So
yeah, because my hatchlings on the paper, they always end up like taking a crap right in the corner above the paper. I'm like, you guys couldn't have hit the paper.
Yeah, no, they're
it's
talented.
Nice having something up.
They're talented.
They are, yeah.
Because with the hatchlings, I used to use either paper towel or unprinted newspaper, and they just push it off to one side, cram it all in the corner. Like, how is that physically possible? But
right.
Yeah, they roll it up. I'm like, what were you doing in there?
Yeah, having a good time, man.
Right. Mm-hmm. Oh man. Well, so we do have lots of questions. Mrs. Beach Bum has been feeding them over to me.
All right.
So I've got a nice hangouts going with that.
Fire away.
But
we have that special question that Will always asks.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say. We could kick it off with Will from Royal Canadian Reptiles. Excuse me, Mr. Moros.
Yep.
So, what's in your opinion, Mike? What's the biggest sleeper gene out there?
I don't know, man. I stick with a lot of the tried and true, and I'm really focused in on the pieds.
Mm-hmm.
I think chocolate. I'm not going to get into too much on what I'm doing, but I do have a chocolate pied that I'm working into some stuff. I think chocolate's an awesome gene, and especially in like a super form, they're fantastic. They make some really cool combos that they just aren't seen everywhere, and I like that. I like the fact that you're not gonna always just pull up Morph Market and find 500 chocolate pieds available. They're just not there.
No, yeah, they're rare, man. They're fairly rare.
So to have one is cool, and I've got a few animals that I'd like to work it into. So that's probably one that I would say. I don't know.
I really like chocolate, and I look at chocolate too as not just chocolate. I really like the super. I think the super is great, and I feel like it's almost like a recessive the way that super like makes that snake look so much better.
Yeah, I do too. And the one that I got, man, he is like that much white. He's super cool.
Right.
A little Willy Wonka, but he's he's a cool animal, and I think I'll probably mix it into a few different things. We've got a few animals in the rack that I think it would look really good with. So we'll see.
Yeah. So you have a male.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. They're pretty. I saw my first one over at Miguel's. He has some of those chocolate pieds. They're gorgeous, man. They're gorgeous. I really like chocolate pieds.
Mm-hmm. They are
all
good.
Right. I agree. That was a good answer, dude. I don't know if we've had anybody about chocolate. I like chocolate. Let's see what else we've got. Oliver O'Rourke. How do all three of you guys feel about sunsets? So, Mike, I'll let you go first.
Completely overrated. I'm just kidding. It's awesome. It's just there's so, like I said, there's so many directions to go. I haven't got into it yet. I would love it. I would definitely love it. I think it's going to be amazing with pieds, and I think it's a really cool gene. I don't have any in the collection yet. Eventually I will, but I think it's beautiful. I think it's the closest thing we've got to red tones on anything. And so I think it's something that'll grow, and as it comes down, or maybe I make more, some nicer animals that somebody wants to trade me for. Maybe I'll get something worked down the line here pretty soon. But as of right now, I don't have anything. But I think it's an awesome gene. It's got some great potential.
Right. What about you, Adam?
Right. It was one of those genes that took me a little while kind of looking at it to see the true appreciation. I'll be completely honest. When I first saw it, I was kind of like, all right, yeah, it's a cool looking morph, kind of the closest we have to red. And then I saw Brock produce that Hypo Pastel Sunset, I think is what it was. And that blew me away. And that really opened my mind. I started thinking about it a completely different way. So I like Sunset, but it did take me a little bit to get on the Sunset train.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hypo is awesome. Hypo is awesome.
Yeah.
That does a lot for those other snakes too, other genes too. Overlooked.
Yeah. Hypo is kind of one of those. Your video that you recently did, Joel, you highlighted Hypo. I was a little offended. You said you liked it better than Desert
I
Ghost.
know. I knew you were going to catch me for that. I knew you were going
Really?
Joel posted a video yesterday, right? I think it was, Joel.
Yeah.
It was in that video. And he covered some beautiful Hypo animals. What were those morphs again on there?
Just I guess not just, but pastel inchies, pastel inchy hypos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pastel inchy hypos, and they glowed.
Yeah, they're nice, man.
Yeah,
and that's what I like.
Very nice,
dude. Sunset and hypo. That's been like my favorite combo I've seen so far.
For Sunset.
Yeah, I really like that, man. I really do.
I'm looking forward to seeing it with Pied, as I everything with Pied. But
yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, I have those sunset het double het pieds or double het sunset pieds that I just can't get that male to lock. The female's like 1,600 grams. I can't get the male to do anything. So I don't know, man.
That is frustrating.
What's you got a tip, Mike? You got a tip for Joel? What's you have a frustrated male?
A frustrated male? Yeah, join the club.
Yeah. So much time and energy put into female.
I've got some of those myself, I mean, I go with a lot of the old tricks, some of the tried and true tricks of throwing sheds from the other males or popping a male that maybe that male's in shed, not going to be using that go around, or if you have other males lying around that aren't being used, pop them and smear that stuff on the female. Maybe combat two males if you don't have any, if you don't care which one goes, but something like that project, I'd really want to know which one's going to go. But maybe put two males in together, and then keep a close eye on them, and then pull the one that you don't want going in there, and another male slip in. But I don't know, man. And then it's nature, you know what I mean? They're going to do what they're going to do.
It is, yeah,
We can do everything we want in our powers to make things the best, and things are still going to go right, and they're still going to go wrong, and people, I think that's a thing that people don't think about is just the what can go wrong. They think all the good stuff, but they don't think about the negatives that can occur sometimes, deformities, or what are you going to do when you got to euthanize a baby or something? It's tough,
right.
And I don't like it. I don't like it at all, and I've done some pairings that have resulted in things like that I'll never do again, but personal choice. But, you think you take the right precautions to prevent things from happening, and it still kind of goes south, and it's like, breaks my heart, man. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the tough reality, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And I think people need to understand that is part of the reality,
Right.
Yeah. It's not always just fun and games and, thinking, ooh, if I mix this and this is all going to be awesomeness. That is true. We are dealing with live animals, and they deserve the utmost respect. And that also you'll encounter defects and real hard situations to be in. Yeah. So, that's true. All right. We got some other questions.
Okay.
Let's see. Master Ball Pythons. Has Enchi ever brought pattern back to the Spide, or is that a no-go? So that's for you, Mr. Mike. Have you ever seen that?
Enchi Spide? Not that.
Yeah, would it bring back pattern?
I don't know that it has. I haven't seen it. I haven't done the pairing, so I don't know firsthand. And to be 100% clear, when I first got into this, I was looking at Morph Market and World of Ball Pythons and stuff every single day. and I mean for like crazy hours, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't do that anymore. You know, I deal with, I've got other things, you know, in the world, but you know, I do take care of those things that I have, and that's not a combo that I've done. We'll see. Actually, I have a male will hopefully answer that question next year. So I have an Orange Dream Fire Inchy Spider 100% het pied male that I got, and the thing is spectacular.
Right. Wow.
I think you guys have seen that, some of the pictures I posted of him, Victor, and he is phenomenal looking. I'm hoping that I don't hit Spider with him, but if I do, and I hit the Inchy with it, then I'll let you know.
Right. Right. There you go. There you go.
I'm hoping that I can circumvent Spider in that pairing, just so I can make a super Orange Dream Fire Inchy pied.
Yeah, that'd be nuts, though. That would be nuts.
Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, I haven't done the combo. I haven't seen that it's helped yet.
Right. Right. Yeah, it would be interesting. I don't know if it's been done either, but that is an interesting question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure if it has either, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got a slew of other ones.
Okay.
Apologize if some buzzing's going on. That's vibrate coming on my phone there.
I tell you, man. I tell you, that guy.
Oh man. All right, from Dane Wagner. Kind of say a similar question. So, in your opinion, Mike, does Inchy reverse the high white and cinnipides?
Yeah, it'd be the same
kind of answer.
So. Yeah, I would think so, because I've seen some cinnipides that are actually pretty high pattern, higher pattern, I should say. Juggernaut had one last year, like a banana cinnamon or banana black pastel, same kind of idea. Pied that was absolutely phenomenal, and it was a low white animal, and that thing was amazing.
Really good looking.
One of the best animals I've. It made me go out and buy a new, you know, cinnamon pie. Yeah.
You went and got that one?
I tried to get that. The dad that produced it, and somebody he already sold it, but I ended up getting you know, a banana cinnamon 100% het pied male. So, and I threw him with a female that makes some really kind of funky looking pieds. So some really high pattern and really darker pieds.
Right.
So it's actually the grandmother of this highway that I produced. So all her offspring have been phenomenal. So she's got like this much white on her. You know, she's
that's so cool,
maybe 5% white, but she throws some amazing stuff.
And Rude Dog just he said he totally fanboys over Juggernaut, and I was gonna say, you know, me too. Juggernaut's knocked off a lot of things kind of on my bucket list. He's produced some amazing animals.
Yeah, you know, I'd seen, like I said, when I was first doing this, I saw him all the time, and yeah, he's got some phenomenal stuff. But this one particular animal blew me away, you know, and I was like, I'm trying to buy it, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's beautiful. So.
All right, we got some other ones. What's your dream pairing?
Well, like, I mean, I guess right now it'll be. I've got some really nice pied pairings for this year and for next year, especially. But I'll go kind of out of the norm for me. And I produced some triple hets this year, with it's a pastel caramel albino desert ghost male. It was phenomenal, the unbelievable animal from that I got from my buddy Tim, but Straight Fire produced that animal, and it is spectacular. And I paired that with a clown, and I paired it with a pastel Inchy Super Spark. So I made some double hets and some triple hets that. If I could hit a pastel or caramel albino desert ghost clown, that's so I've got a nice little group for that, and a nice little group for the double hets too. So something out of that would be kind of cool, just because it's so minuscule of the odds with a double or triple head to head, but I think those would be cool. I think this would be really, really neat if I could hit that.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I got
I can't wait for that project.
Slew of pied stuff that I'm working on. Some of which I'm sure has been done by, Justin and Ozzy, but so I mean, I have goals in mind of what I see there, but these pairings I don't, and so that's what probably makes it a kind of a dream snake, I guess.
Right. That's really cool though, man. That's a cool combo.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, will be, dude. Will be.
All right.
Definitely. Well, Joel, I don't know if you want to do some of our kind of fire round questions, some of those, then if everybody wants to hang out for a little bit. We did get a couple more questions, so yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we got to hit you with the lightning round real quick, man.
Go for it.
Yeah. All right, you ready? So first thing comes to your mind. You know how lightning rounds work, I guess. Okay, ready. So favorite color?
Blue.
Great color. Color. So your jeans, like your pants, you wear a zipper or button jeans?
I own one pair of jeans living here in Southern California. It's got a zipper on it.
Gosh, okay. Well, that's a low group. Yeah, that's a low selection, but it's still a zipper nonetheless.
Board shorts, one pair of jeans, or my uniform. That's about it.
Right. Does your uniform?
Yeah, they got zippers.
Oh, yeah.
See, even the firefighters have stopped using buttons.
Nobody uses the button. Well, I'm a jean hipster. That's all there is.
Oh, that's really a good thing, dude.
Bring him back, man. Bring him back. Okay, favorite childhood movie?
Probably North Shore.
Okay, what's North Shore? Why
old surfer movie, man.
What is it?
Old surfer movie.
Yeah, okay.
Rick Kane comes from a wave pool in Arizona. Oh, you should know that one.
Yeah, I know North Shore. Like I know that movie. I don't know why I can't remember it.
Yeah, he learns how to shape boards.
Yeah, that's it.
Dude, he's got to battle Lance, and he gets the girl, and everybody's upset at him. It's a good movie.
Yeah,
it's a great movie.
Okay, so favorite thing to eat?
Oh man, so I just recently stopped eating meat. Fish.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Fish. Yeah.
By necessity.
Thank God.
Yeah. That's fair. Okay. So if you could pick any superpower to have, what superpower would you have?
I'd be able to fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can swim. I can run.
Yeah.
So flying would probably be the next thing.
Yeah. I like that. Flying would be awesome, and it would save so much on airfare. You know how easy it'd be to go to Tinley?
What's that?
You know how easy it'd be to go to Tinley in that case?
Oh, dude, I just fly right over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like my queen just said, just stop time.
Yeah.
That'd make it easy.
Yeah. I'd love to be able
Then I could walk. Then I could run around. I would never lose an animal that I was looking for at a show.
You could see the whole show before anyone else.
Yeah, and if I saw one that I wanted and I left the table like I have done before, and it gets sold right underneath me,
yeah,
it wouldn't happen. Maybe I'd change my answer.
Yeah, controlling time would be pretty neat. That would be pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Too bad though. You already said you wanted to fly, so it's over.
Okay, that's fine. That's a good one too.
All right, yeah, I guess we don't want to drag it on too long here, but last maybe 15 minutes. If there's any other questions, we can kind of get some stuff tackled. I don't know if Miss Beach Bum saw anything for us, but
yeah, she did send a couple others over from Sub-Zero Constrictors. Would you recommend starting out selling animals online or get show vending experience, kind of like for the beginner breeder?
So I think the show vending experience is the key because it puts a name to a face. For me, it's been a huge advantage to do that. And like I said, I didn't do social media for a while. And so I've been able to kind of build a name based off of interaction with people, just old school. Hey, shake a hand and say hi to somebody.
Right.
Allow them to see a beautiful snake right up close and hold Elvira or something. And actually it's more tangible especially if you're trying to build a name,
Yeah.
So
yeah, right. Shows are key, man. Shows are key.
Phone charger. Yeah. So I think that to me is probably most important.
Yeah. Yeah. I like shows, man. I think they're very necessary to either A, vend or B at.
Yeah. Especially if you're if they're not far from you. If they're a huge inconvenience and you're like traveling, hundreds of miles to go to a show. Like Pomona is one of the biggest ever. And it's on a no traffic day, it's 35 minutes. It's 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes to get to the other one.
Right.
So that plays into it too.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have something else for him, Adam?
Yeah. Let's see. Well, this is a pretty good question, something that we don't always talk about. So Jose Serrano wanted to know, what are some of the genes you don't cross? And so I believe this question is kind of around some of the lethal combos.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Hold on, I've got plug my phone in.
Yeah.
So for me,
just a second ago too.
So there's a couple personal ones that I just don't do. If he's talking about just lethal combos, obviously, spider with champagne, or hold on, guys. Sorry.
Yep.
Spider with champagne and hidden gene woma. Those are supposed to be kind of no goods, But for me, like personal choice, like I know some of those ones to not do, but for me, a personal choice is not to do. I won't be going for pandas. I don't do super black, cinnamon, whatever crosses. That's the one that really broke my heart. I was going for these gray matters, and I thought, hey, you know what? If black pastel and black pastel are real bad, and cinnamon are really bad. Well, what if I cross the two? And that was the pairing I did, and I got three, supers, the combo of the two, and all just kinked like so bad that it was bad, man. It was heartbreaking because I didn't want it at the expense of the animal. I mean, no combo is that important for me to try to make, and I thought I did my path, it might have been the best way to go, and it just sucked, so I won't do those again. But as far as the lethal combos, there's some other ones too, but that's lethal, but I mean, it ended up being lethal because they were so severely kinked that I euthanized them,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, right. Well, not lethal. That's a consideration to have,
Yeah.
I mean, like spider to spider, for example.
Yeah, spider.
We haven't had any.
Spider champagne, hidden gene woma to champagne. There's quite a few that work or don't work.
Hidden gene woma, the hidden gene woma.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So there are some of those.
That. Yep.
But then there's others like caramels. There are potentials for kinking or whatever. I don't know. There's certain ways apparently that it works, but it's just one of those things like kind of got to weigh the risk as to whether it's worth it or not, And like I said, I tried, but it backfired on me. So
yeah.
This is a bummer, man.
Yeah, it's funny. Master
Ball. It bummed me out to see those three babies.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's horrible.
Yeah, Master Ball Pythons did the same thing.
Yeah,
that you did. Black pastel, the cine, and it was a bad deal.
Yeah.
So we did have so Jason from Morph Mixology wanted to know kind of what's your take on the spider gene and the overall kind of controversy right now. That's kind of
Yeah, there seems to be a lot going on with it. To me, I do have a few spider gene animals. I've been selective on who I buy them from. The parents, I'd ask specifically about the parents and things. So I try and do my due diligence on those and try and minimize that wobble. for me, I've had a couple when I first started buying snakes, and I bought a portion of a collection. I got a spider in there, and it was real wobbly, and I didn't care for it at all. I obviously didn't breed that animal, and I ended up giving it. I didn't sell it. I gave it to a friend as a pet that just a really cool lady that loves her animals, and so it was like, here's a wonky little pet, and she's taking good care of it, but the gene itself does some amazing things and some really incredible combos, and I've got some animals that in my collection that have spider in them, no wobble that I've seen, or very, very minimal. What I look for is does it strike like true? Like does it go, oh hey rat, and go off this way?
Right.
Does it strike and it's not detrimental to the animal? I think when they strike and they're like they'll miss the head and get the tip of the tail, that obviously opens it up for some injury. But I don't because I feed live. But for me, like,
well, shoot, I've got
What's that?
I was gonna say I've got non-spiders that derp out like that when
It's exciting. But if I've got one that's like that, I don't want it in the collection, and I won't breed it, and I'll tell people, hey, this little derpy here, but not to say I haven't produced a couple little ones that kind of wobble, a little bit more.
Yeah.
I've seen some that are like, like full corkscrew.
Oh man.
At shows.
For sure. Yeah.
It's just having fun. It's like, no, it's not. It's but I think,
and that's disappointing when I hear breeders explain it like that. They should be honest, right? And say, well, that's a neurological disorder going on.
100%.
But the animal eats fine.
I've for the most part, I've worked with pinstripe or enchi or something to kind of influence my patterns over the spider. But I think that what I don't like is that it's being, if it's, I don't want it to be regulated to a point where they take it out and say you can't have and control what you can or can't have. I'm not a real political guy, but I don't want to be told that, hey, you can't have a spider, and now, hey, you can't have those caramel albinos because they kink, or you can't have those because they kink. I think there is a potential for it to get really, really nasty.
Well, yeah, where does the line stop?
Yeah,
I
think
agree.
it's what would be ideal is if breeders were responsible about breeding and not breeding animals that had that severe disorder.
Kink.
Yeah.
And I've heard that blackhead and spider eliminates the head wobble.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it produces a normal snake.
Right.
I have no idea. I mean, if that's the case, dude.
I mean, literally, when those two combine, they produce a normal snake. Why, Joel? I'll send you a normal. That's
okay.
Okay.
You guys are just trying to crash morph market again and get people to go buy all the black.
Yeah.
No, but I mean,
all right. So I know it's 20 minutes past. We did have a couple others come in, kind of some interesting around projects and things like that. I did call out for a few more questions. So Derek had a good question. Let's see. What are your thoughts on a possible monsoon pied? Is that something you're working on, or do you want to see, any insight?
I'm not working on it. Monsoon's still way out of my price range. I think it could be pretty darn. I think it could be pretty cool. I think there's a lot to the monsoon that just we haven't seen yet. I think there's a lot of, but there's a lot of genes out there, man. that I think that you can, if you just do it right and you get a good quality of whatever animal it is, you can really work it into the projects that are nice.
Yeah.
I think monsoon will be cool. I really like it, but it's too buku on the old pocketbook for me.
Super expensive.
Yeah.
I gotta wait for that.
Definitely high right now.
I gotta wait for that stuff to come down, or I gotta produce some super gravel het pieds this year.
Yeah, there you
go. And then trade for them or something, because I can't do that.
Yeah, for sure. No, I feel you. I think Monsoon's going to do something cool too. I'm really interested how it behaves with Pied.
Yeah.
And then from JP Reptiles Canada, what's your take on the Exanthic project? Do you like the gene? Do you work with it?
It's funny because everyone asks me about all these projects that I don't do anything with. I think it's awesome. I think I think there's some really cool Exanthic stuff out there. I think that Exanthic pies are awesome. I think with Desert Ghost or Enhancer, whatever other combos are in there, I think they're spectacular. I don't have any yet. Not that I'm not going to. I mean, there's only so many avenues.
No lightning pies?
Not yet. No. I'd like to. I really would like to. Maybe get a pair. And I think I don't know. I haven't studied enough to know the different lines. I know certain lines are a little cleaner, a little brighter, maintained throughout, adulthood. I've seen a bunch of Exanthic stuff that just darkens to the point of like just muddy looking, and I didn't care for it. But
yeah,
right.
I think with the right thing, or like maybe add Orange Dream to it, which would help clean, or Fire, or Desert Ghost, or those kind of things. Obviously, Desert Ghost, you're going to work in a recessive, but I think any of those animals that are going to lighten and maybe help enhance that Exanthic from darkening too much at the ages, I think it'll look really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, definitely. And then Derek threw out one last one, and I know this one's kind of focused on pieds, and this is actually, I'm happy you threw this question out because it's something I've been thinking, urban camo, sandblast gene, all that stuff from Osborne. What's your thoughts on it?
I think they're amazing.
Yeah.
Again, it's
out so cool.
Out of my price range right now.
Yeah.
My price range is my trade price range is like way bigger than my pocketbook price range. And so that would be, I love them. I love them since the first time I saw one. And that was a few years ago. And they are a super cool animal,
They are, man. Yeah. They're really cool.
Yeah. Again, that one I want.
Super impressed.
But if like I said, I gotta hope that this highway girl that I'm breeding right now to the gravel pied throws me out like a whole clutch of super gravels. Het pied.
She will, man. She will.
All of them.
All of them. Hell yeah.
And then I'll have some choices to who I can maybe make some deals with.
Yeah, there you go. Wheeling and dealing, man. Wheeling and dealing.
Yeah. It's cool. And that's a one cool thing about getting to a point where in the business or the hobby or whatever, where you've got enough of a reputation to be able to do some trades. That's awesome, because my whole goal was always to have this thing just pay for itself. And so if it can just do it off trade,
same thing, man. Same
all
thing.
Day,
Yeah.
So.
Well, Joel, I've asked a bunch of questions. Any other questions that you had on your mind?
Well, yeah, we could just rein you in really quick on one last little question. I feel like we kind of like to ask everybody, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. But we were saying, so we usually ask people, if you were starting out and you had $3,500, how would you use that money to start like a platform to where maybe you could breed some snakes and do some stuff like that? And then if you had $3,500 now, what do you think you would invest in right now?
So $3,500 to any beginning breeder, they got to factor into that $3,500 caging or rack or whatever. I mean, I think that's a lot of things that overlook. People, boom, like they're gonna spend $3,500 on animals, and they're going to put it in a shoebox or something, So I think obviously investing it in a good quality rack, I'm not a fan of the melamine or stuff like that, because, I want something that I can, I always like to think of worst case scenario, being a fireman, like I want to think of worst case. And if I get a respiratory infection or mites or something, I want to be able to disinfect it.
Yeah.
So getting myself a good quality rack that I can clean and disinfect, ideal. And then for me, pieds all day, and if you're starting with hatchlings, I'm going to go, a few, either codom 100% het pied females of whatever, orange dream, Inchi is nice. You know, maybe black pastel, maybe banana, whatever. Get a handful of females and grow them up for a couple of years, maybe a year and a half, and then you know, save a little bit of money and get a solid male that you can put to those 3 females. You know?
Right.
I think that you know, if you go too many different directions with $3,500, you're not gonna have a whole lot of success. You know.
Yeah, wear yourself thin.
Yeah, if you're gonna want to do it and focus on projects, I think that's probably the best way.
Right.
3,500. If I could spend it right now, I'd probably just go out and buy myself a super orange dream pied something.
You know? Yeah. That's a good one. That's a great one.
I'm trying to make them now, but I got a couple of females that could use one right now. So
right.
You know, I could. You know, I'm holding off on I'm breeding my orange dream pied female just because I want to make supers with her next year. So it'll give me the best opportunity.
Yeah.
With that boy we talked about earlier. So
yeah,
I think that's where I'd go. You know, probably it.
Well,
good answers.
I guess we've kind of ended now. What do you think, Em?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I wanted to give Porter an opportunity. I mean, if there's something that you know, you wanted to bring up with anybody out there, or you know, where
anything you want to
kind of wrapping up.
Yeah, you know, the biggest thing for me, I hate not being able to get in contact with people. So the easiest thing is through Instagram. Is probably the easiest way. I'm usually really quick to respond or whatever. So just at Porter's Pythons right there. My fiance started Mrs. Porter's Pythons, and she's doing some cool stuff. She's kind of a merchandising little venue, and she's got T-shirts and mugs. And Tony from SenCal Exotics, she put together a mug for him, and Morph Mixology, same thing. So she can do some custom stuff, but there's some cool stuff she's doing with you know. Basically anything for any reptile lover, you know, mugs and stuff like that. So
right,
I think those are
cool,
cool. And you know, we're basically it's how Sophia's going to go to college, so everyone's got to buy something.
Absolutely.
Hey, there you go. And I love the designs that she's putting together out there. I thought they were really cool. So for sure, everybody check them out.
Yeah, so it's if you go to her page or even mine, up on the top in the bio, it'll have the link to her Gear Bubble site. And I appreciate it, you guys. I appreciate the opportunity to come and chat with you guys. We talk all the time, but it's kind of cool to just to do this on a thing where we've got the chat and everything else.
Yeah,
I appreciate
it.
Thank
you so much for coming, man. I know this takes up a lot of everybody's time to do this, and then there's we have to download the program, we have to do everything like that. So it's not just what I guess everybody sees now. We do a pre-show that we have to kind of get everything wrangled in. So, just thank you for doing all that for us, because this means a lot to have anybody out here.
And she'll just send me to college. Go to my site. Yeah.
Selfless plug, man. There it is.
Hey, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Oh, the baby's up.
You guys have a good one. Thanks everybody for joining in on the chat too. I appreciate it. I'll look through it all here in a little bit. So.
Yeah,
definitely. I really appreciate everybody.
All right, everybody's links are in the description. So if you guys want to check anybody out, go there, send yourselves off in the right directions. Great people. And I guess that's it for me. I don't know, Adam, you have anything left?
Yeah. Well, Loki's ending the show for us tonight, so that's all I gotta say.
We'll see everybody in a little bit.
There's a baby off right here.
See you guys.